Hola, Fambam. I just wanted to come on here and talk to you about my last assignment that I just had, that I finished up. So in case you don't know, my name is Sarah and I'm a travel nurse, and I travel with a company called Arias Medical. So this company, they do healthcare staffing across the country of USA. They do CNAs, LPNs, RNs, NPs, nurse practitioners, doctors. They do all kinds of therapists, so OT, PT. I think they do speech therapists. They really do like all the healthcare professions, which I think is so cool. And they have so many different like job availabilities in like categories and stuff. So I just completed my first assignment with them and I have loved it. Travel nursing, I've wanted to do that for a long time, but I never felt like it would be an applicable like goal. Like I thought it was just gonna be a dream that I had for like the rest of my life, but that's so false. I have absolutely loved it. It gives me the freedom to like I can go and like do my job, but then I have my mental or my mentality is different, like compared to like when I worked full-time, because I know that in all things the day ends and the where I'm at will end and I'll get to go and explore new places. And I think too, just being in a place you're not really familiar with, it challenges you to get out and explore. And for me, like getting to know people and like the staff and everything, that's been so much fun. So my first assignment was in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I wanted my first assignment to be close to home. I felt like that was important because if I didn't like it, like if it was just going to be too much, I wanted to make it easy to come back home in case, you know, we just didn't like it. So we were at a hospital called Franciscan Health. It's in Indy. They actually have multiple locations, but we were at one in Indy, and I have to say it was really great experience. The hospital itself, I know it's a trauma, but I don't know exactly which level. Like I don't remember, but that's okay. And then it's a pretty big hospital. They have like a heart center. They have like the med surg like hospital like part, which is where I worked in. They have outpatient stuff. They have a cancer center. They have inpatient rehab like at the facility, which that's cool. And there's one more thing that they had, but I don't remember exactly what it was, but like it's a big facility. They have a lot of different like specialties and like, oh, they have women's and like children's, so they have like a place where you can give birth, and they have like a pediatric hospital, which like again, that's just so cool. But anyway, so I worked in the like hospital part, which is like a med surg, like just your typical like no specialty kind of thing. So like not heart or women's or anything like that. My assignment that I worked on was orthopedic and neurology. Like it's like that kind of unit, but it was like a med surg ortho neuro unit. And that unit that I've worked on, the orthopedics are things like joint replacements, so you have your hips and your knee replacements. There were a few shoulder replacements in there. A lot of these surgeries are done like as outpatient, and then if the patient doesn't recover well or if they have a lot of comorbidities, which side note, comorbidities are like a big history. So if they have like diabetes and they have like a heart history and they have like a lot of things that make them at risk to not recover well, then they get admitted. And so that's when we take those patients, and we usually watch them for a day or two, and then send them home. Sometimes too, patients are a little bit older, and they're not going to recover as well, so they have to go to the hospital to get admitted to a rehab, so they can get their strength back, because surgery just exhausts them, which is fine, you know. We also get like fractures, so like people who have fallen and they fractured some, like a hip, or they've like broken their leg or something, we get those patients as well. So that's like the ortho side of things. And then the neuro side is like patients who come in for strokes, seizures, or really like any like brain abnormality. I think there have been a couple of like like brain shunt patients where their shunt hasn't been working properly, and so like they've been admitted so that we could kind of figure it out and correct the issue. So yeah, that was the type of floor I was working on. Prior to this assignment, I worked in medical cardiac renal unit, which is like a very med surge. We did heart stuff, we did diabetes and like renal. We had like a dialysis suite like on the unit. So this was definitely the other end of the spectrum for me. Orthopedics I did for my practicum for school, so like that one I felt comfortable with. You pretty much do the same thing with all patients. You create them on a pain medicine routine, and therapy kind of like manages everything because they help them kind of learn how to remobilize after the surgery. So I'm just there kind of for support and pain management. But the neuro thing, I always told myself when I was a student that I never wanted to do neuro. I do not like that specialty. It just like, there's just, for me, it's just too much to grasp. It's a lot of like unknown, I feel. Yes, and it's very like fast paced. Yeah, the heart is kind of like that too. It's very fast paced, but I feel like the heart is very like straightforward, more explanatory. Yes, there's some things that are unknown, but the heart is such a major vessel in the body that I feel like a lot of research has been done about it, stuff like that. So did not like the brain, I did not like the neuro side of this assignment, and I really don't want to go back to that, but that's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes for a job. So I will say I learned a lot doing the neuro stuff. I just don't like it. It's a me thing, not a neuro thing. It's like my preference. And once you become a nurse, you kind of get like your preferences and like what you like, what you don't like, stuff like that. I just don't like neuro. Anyways, so I thought I would go in and now that you kind of know like the background of my assignment, talk about like pros and cons of the assignment, and traveling and just stuff like that. And then at the very end of this video, stay tuned. I will tell you guys where we're going next and the type of assignment then, which I'm so excited for. So I'm gonna probably refer to my phone a little bit because I've written some stuff down, but I don't want you guys to think that I'm not, I don't know, like engaged or anything. Okay, okay, so I'm gonna start with the cons, I think, because I don't like negative and I just want to get it out of the way. So the first con, which for me, I don't care, but for a lot of people I think this would matter, my assignment was a weekend option assignment. So what that means is I dedicate every weekend to working. So I worked every Saturday and Sunday, and then a day of the week, whichever day that they needed me staff-wise. So that is a con, I feel, for, like I said, for most people. For me, it wasn't really, I mean, it kind of sucked because like our exploration, I felt like was kind of like not as much as I wanted it to be because a lot of things are open on the weekends and I was working on the weekends. Like a lot of fairs and like shows and stuff like that. But like I'm in school and stuff to get my master's for my FNP, which is family nurse practitioner. And so for me, I liked the weekend option schedule because I knew what days I was working and I was able to get my homework done before I had to go to work for the weekend. And I liked that routine. I used to do weekend option at the facility I came from before I traveled. So for me, it was a great like intro into traveling because a lot of things weren't really different. I was just adding an extra day into my week. So like I said, it didn't really matter to me, but for a lot of people I think that would be like a no deal to not do weekend option. And then another con I feel like I had was like, again, the neuro thing, for me, that's a con. I just don't like neuro stuff. I am not stroke scale certified. That will most likely change in the future, but right now I'm not. And so I felt like the kinds of patients I would get would be stroke patients. And yes, I can care for them, but I just feel like I don't know as much as the other people. And so I felt like I was limited by my knowledge. And stuff like that. So my stroke scale patients, I would have to have someone else complete the stroke scale, which is really frustrating to have to ask someone to go do something for me, because as a travel nurse, most people expect you to like know things and like to just like do things and stuff like that. And so it was just very frustrating to have to go ask for help with that. And I don't mind asking for help, don't get me wrong there, but it was just like frustrating, especially whenever like it was like 2 or 3 patients or like a shift or something like that. It was just a lot to ask for. I'm trying to think, because like I really only had the weekend option thing as my con. I really think that's my only con, or those 2 are my only cons for the most part of this assignment. My pros, so we'll move into pros, where first, for this assignment, I didn't have to float. So that was very nice to show up for my first assignment, and it's like I was at the same place, same thing. Like, it was really nice. I definitely think in future assignments I'm gonna have to float, which makes me kind of anxious, but not really, because I used to float all the time. At my old facility, I worked a lot of overtime and stuff, and so I would float the most. And I don't mind floating. Sometimes it's nice to get like out of the unit you're in and see something different, or to learn something different. I think that's kind of cool. That's a me thing. Not everyone thinks that's cool, but that's okay. So like the no floating, like to get my feet wet, that was very nice. I liked that a lot. And then my other pro is the staff that I worked with for this assignment were amazing. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have better staff anywhere else. So like my first week, I oriented one day with a nurse, and she was great, very helpful, very knowledgeable about like her like job and like duties there on the unit. She was fabulous, and she also worked weekend option, which was so awesome, because I was able to like get to like use her as a reference point on my weekends, like when she was there. So that was awesome. But like the first like actually few weeks, really, everyone would be like, are you doing okay? How can I help you? Like, do you need any help? They would be very nice with like showing me where things were. The way that the floor is laid out is very complicated, and so they'd be like, oh, for like a supply or something, like it's in this supply room on this shelf or whatever, and they would show me these things. People like the aides here are very like territorial about their job, which I'm not used to, so that was just very nice to walk in and they'd be like, no, I do this, and I'm like, okay, you can do it. But like if they were running behind, they would let me help them and stuff like that, which was just nice, because I felt like I could help them, you know. But yeah, no, the staff here were great. Everyone was so friendly, and they didn't want me to leave. You know, they wanted to know more, and they were willing to answer my questions, and like they were just very like friendly, like talking, and they weren't like very standoffish. Like even night shift, like coming, like when I would get report or give report, most of them were very like friendly and nice, and that was just fabulous. Very like inviting, and like I said, for the first assignment, it was very like, okay, it's gonna be okay, I got this. Like, it was very encouraging, and it definitely boosted my confidence as a nurse. But if I needed help, no one would ever be like, no, I can't help you. They'd be like, yeah, I'll be right there. Like, they would be very willing to help. I will say, like, as I progressed, I've asked for less help because I've learned the system. And for the most part, like, I can do most things on my own, but sometimes like I don't know where things are or the policy on something. But the charge nurses are always very helpful and very willing to help, which was awesome. I'm trying to think if there are any other pros. I want to say that's it. My biggest thing was the staff, like being so nice and stuff. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to get that anywhere else, which is going to be very challenging and very hard. But it makes it great. So like if I want to come back, I know who I'm coming back to, which is great. So okay, so now I'm gonna move on to where we're going for this next assignment. We are going to North Carolina. Woo! I'm so excited because it's been pretty cold and we've had some snow here in Indy. So I'm excited for warm weather and being close to the coast and the beach and everything. So we're going to this city called Greensboro, North Carolina, and there's a hospital that I'll be working at. And I'll be going back to med tele kind of basis. So I'm really excited, excuse me, to go do that and to go back to the heart. Like I said, this last assignment was very challenging for me, just because neuro is not my thing and I just am not a fan of it. So I'm really excited to go back to heart stuff and that kind of thing. Yeah, we're going to North Carolina and I'm really excited. And I think the next video after this will be like us in North Carolina. So I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited for it as well. I'm hoping to have more exploration things because there's so much that I want to go explore in North Carolina. We have family in North Carolina too, so to get to go and see them and stuff like that. So I'm just really excited for everything. I hope you guys liked this video. I thought it was, I don't know, I just thought it'd be really cool to share my assignment. I would totally recommend Franciscan Health for a travel assignment, especially if it's your first, because they've just been so friendly and so welcoming. But even if this isn't your first assignment, this is like your bazillionth assignment, highly recommend. They have just been fabulous. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to include in this video. So with that, don't forget to subscribe so you guys don't miss the North Carolina stuff that we get to venture into, and also click the notification bell. That way you guys never miss a video and you're always notified of when I'm uploading. And yeah, I think that's it. I think I'll see you guys in this next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm gonna sign off. Bye guys.